I don't know if Luck's going to come back. Maybe the last couple games of the year, but might not
whether
be
he
in
comes
time for
back or
fantasy.
not, Mike holding on to Andrew Luck throughout this whole year is like one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen. Like, he's just literally holding on to a prayer. I don't understand it. When Andrew Luck comes back, then what? He thinks he's Jesus and grants him 100 points every game.
Well,
I don't understand it. Andrew Luck is still a swing in the park. We have no idea what's going to happen. The offense is trash. The defense is trash. And I guess that's good for upside, but Andrew Luck is one of the most overrated players we've seen in the past 5 years in the NFL. So we're heading into week 8, correct?
That's right. We're at the midway point, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, just over midway. This week for sure is where everything's going to start opening up in the standings. People are going to start separating themselves. People are going to be falling off. People are going to be pulling away. The middle's going to be a clusterfuck till the end, though, for sure. But
yeah, right now we got a tie at the top between Nick and Mikey, both 5-2, and then right behind them is Butts, 4-2-1. Rob, Damien, and myself tied at 4-3, and to round off the final playoff spot is Mike Brobes at 3-3-1. And then you got 3 teams on the cusp, which are Derek, Drake, and Trevor, all at 3-4. And then you've got Ricky at 2-5, and then yourself at 1-6. So,
if you guys remember last week, for the second week in a row, I had people going ham on the Thursday night game, and it let me down in a big way. Derek ended up coming back. Was up 38 points going into Monday night with Terrell Pryor to play. He only had Kirk Cousins and
Chris Thompson.
Chris Thompson scores the first touchdown, and that's when I at first I was doing homework. I wasn't even worried about it. I wasn't even thinking about it. I'm like, whatever. He scored the first touchdown, but I'm like, let me just check Twitter, and all of a sudden I see Josh Doxson has outsnapped Terrell Pryor 25-1 in the first quarter, and I was like, this is it. I was like, no way, this is it. And sure enough, on the last drive in garbage time, just like we knew, a couple dumps off later, and I lose by 1 point.
Yeah, and let me just say this. I know that you might be kicking yourself for not playing either Jacoby Brissett or Jared Goff, but the real bonehead play was playing the Chiefs defense when you had Amari Cooper going. That was the issue.
Oh, my God. Oh, I never even thought about that.
That was why, because they got you -5 points. All you had to do was stream a defense.
All I had to do was not play a defense.
Exactly. That's what lost it for you.
Well, that's unlucky because I never even thought about it like that. Yeah, we mentioned that last week too, where Michael literally said, he's like, I don't know if it's going to matter, but you have your Chiefs defense going against Amari Cooper. And I said I meant to change it, but I said I wasn't worried, and incredible. It's my second game I've lost by 1 point, and all of them, now I know that there was a bonehead move in every single play. I didn't even think about that. At first, I was like, oh, Cam versus Brissett or whatever versus...
Yeah, the margins weren't going to be that different.
I was like, whatever. Cam was the right play, but damn, that defense really did bite me in the ass.
Yeah, I was eliminated from the Survivor Challenge this week. My team disappeared for the second week in a row. I scored 77 points. I was lucky not to be eliminated last week, but... I mean...
So I hope for sure that Derek's still alive, which is incredible.
My situation was a lot different than yours. Like, there was nothing I could do. Like, I was going to lose even if I played my optimal lineup because so many...
Okay, full team shit the bed.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate week for me. But, yeah, for the remaining teams in the Survivor Challenge are Damien, Derek, Mikey, Nick, and Rob.
We did it.
Everyone's got
150 back.
Everyone has a winning record that's remaining in that challenge except for Derek.
He's lagging for, but you Derek will get that money back, that $50 plus the $100 Survivor bonus.
Yeah, other than that, not
I
too
didn't
many.
hear. There we go. It's working.
Yeah, there you go. Not too many surprise results this week, I don't think. I mean, I think everything that happened was what we predicted was going to happen. So, not really too much to know from the results. I mean,
seven of the 12 teams, all either 3 or 4 wins, so it's still anybody's race for the last couple playoff spots.
Yeah, for sure. But like you said earlier, I think this is where you're going to start to see separations from the teams that are set up for the rest of the season.
And because of that reason, we've seen a lot of trades this week. We didn't have hardly any trades.
That's right.
In the regular season, not a lot. We had a few here and there, but this week there's probably been at least 5 is my guess. Do you know how many?
Yeah, let me take a look. I think 5 is a good guess. I think it might be...
It's pretty impressive for 1 week. People are definitely starting to feel the heat. Everybody's either 3-4, 4-3, or 2-4. 5 or whatever. So everybody's feeling it.
I can't speak for everyone else, but I definitely knew exactly why I was making trades. Let's see. The first trade that was made was between. The farthest back that the app goes was between myself and Ricky, but I know there was definitely one before that. So let me see if I can pull that up on the screen here.
I'll talk over, while you look for that, I'll talk over yours and Ricky's trade. That trade was, you got rid of Derrick Henry and Keenan Allen, which is a load. That's a load. And you traded them two for Jordan Howard.
That's right.
I like Ricky's side of the trade a little bit more. I think it was his first good trade he made. No offense, Ricky. But it definitely works out for both of you. You did that knowing Derrick Henry just isn't getting that number one touch type volume that you're looking for, because you are weak in the running back position right now. And you're willing to get rid of Keenan Allen for it. So that's fair enough.
Yeah, I think he originally, when we were talking, he wanted both Chris Hogan and Keenan Allen. I wasn't really looking to give away my entire wide receiver core. So the fact that we were able to reach an agreement where I just had to give up one wide receiver for running back, because a lot of times when you have one of those wide receiver for running back swaps, it's really situational. And in my situation, my wide receivers aren't fantastic, but they were good enough that I was able to get rid of one of my top guys to receive a top running back. Because as far as volume goes, it doesn't get much better than Jordan Howard, because he's pretty much the entire team. What did Trubisky throw the ball 7 times last game?
Trubisky like they're doing portals.
Yeah.
But on to the next trade, if you didn't already pull that up.
Yeah, no,
Ricky then immediately sends Keenan Allen. He trades away Keenan Allen, Jameis Winston, and Matt Forte, which is another load of good guys, for Melvin Gordon and Orleans Darkwa. So it was kind of like the trading away for one guy, essentially. I definitely like Butts' side more. Ricky's only filling one roster spot by making this move. A lot of those guys still have good standalone value.
Essentially, what he did was he just made the Melvin Gordon for Jordan Howard switch.
Yeah, essentially.
So I'm not really sure.
Yeah, and then,
I don't know what his endgame with that was. Melvin Gordon's a slight upgrade over Jordan Howard, but it seemed like a lot.
I would say as far as upside goes, because he's in the better offense, but it's like they're both receiving the same volume. Catch each one of them on their good week, Damian and Drake made a simple trade. Damian traded away Russell Wilson. Drake gave him DeAndre Washington, who Drake paid 15 waiver points for. Were you able to pull up those other trades?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
You can go ahead and hit on those if you want.
Yeah. The first one, I think it was actually, it was between Trevor and I. He traded me Marcus Mariota for Robbie Anderson.
And Trevor has a stud quarterback, right?
Yeah, he's got Deshaun Watson. I don't know if it's a stud quarterback, but he's playing well. And I don't really have a quarterback. Unfortunately, Carson Palmer broke his fucking arm, so I didn't have one. So trading away Robbie Anderson for me was a pretty small price to pay to get a good quarterback, because I like Mariota rest of the season. He's going to be past his bye this week. I'm just streaming Case Keenum this week, so I'm okay with doing that.
Which is a good streamer, that's for sure.
And then, so that one's pretty straightforward, just filling my quarterback need. And originally he wanted Randall Cobb, but he took Robbie Anderson, so works for me. And then next was your trade. You traded Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill for Evan Engram, Devin Funchess, and Joe Mixon. So basically what I think you're doing here is basically trading away two pretty key pieces of your team, but you're getting a lot of upside. Devin Funchess I've liked Devin Funchess all year. It took him a couple weeks to get into his, production part of his season, I guess you could say. But I like him rest of the season. Joe Mixon's getting the touches. It's just a matter of time before he has one of those games. And then Evan Engram's pretty much one of the best tight ends rest of the season, I think, because the wide receiver core has been entirely depleted on that team. You definitely gave away the best player, I would say, in the trade, in Tyreek Hill, but I think you got a couple good pieces. And Christian McCaffrey, if a lot of people don't know, he has actually the most targets and the most receptions at the running back position. So he's a great PPR player.
Yeah, so, I wanted a key receiver out of him. There was someone else he has, and I don't remember that I was trying to get, and he wasn't about it. I obviously grabbed Funches because I have Cam Newton I'm starting, and he was most interested in McCaffrey and Tyreek. He didn't want Amari Cooper at all. Giving up Tyreek was whatever because, he has those 25-point games, but he's relatively consistent. I don't think he's scored under 8 yet. I'm not sure. But that would just be increasing my week-to-week expected output. Although Evan Ingram is on his bye week this week, I've been weak at tight end the whole year after Charles Clay went out.
Right.
And and then Joe Mixon is just another volume guy to throw in there. And then I got the 3 for 2. So like I said, it was just increasing 2 areas of weakness week to week anyway was my goal. And I was supposed to win last week. So literally we already agreed on the trade before I even took the L. We agreed on that before the Monday night game started. So it looks like I'm making trades for no reason at 1-6 or whatever, but
initially, my plan was after this week, I was going to try to offer Mike Robes Carson Palmer because he has Larry Fitzgerald, and I was going to try to get Andy Dalton off of him. But then Carson Palmer broke his arm, and it kind of ruined my plan. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, but and then the last trade that we have here was Drake trading DeAndre Washington to Damian for Russell Wilson.
Yep. I went over that one real quick, which is just a simple.
Yeah.
Ink and dunk trade. They both have a guy that the other person needs, and they're willing to get rid of him.
Right. Yeah. And I have to mention Kyle Butts dropping T.J. Jones and picking up Deontay Thompson for $3, only for the next day to drop Marquise Goodwin to pick up T.J. Jones again for $2. So total, Kyle Butts spent $8 on T.J. Jones.
I'm sure he's already picked him up and dropped him before. Kyle Butts is renowned for this. Every single day he picks up somebody way overpriced. He could be paying $1 for all these guys, and I'm sure he hasn't peeped into any of these videos because he would stop doing it by now. But it's just so pathetic. Every single day he picks up somebody for like $3 to $12, and it's always somebody random that nobody wants. I don't even know who. Hey, look, when I seen that, I don't even know who Deontay Thompson is. I'm being 100% honest. If I don't click on his name,
I was gonna ask if you knew who he was. I don't.
Right now. Looks like he's a Buffalo Bills wide receiver that I've never heard of. So
yeah, he's like, hey, he's a flyer. I'm gonna take it.
Oh my god.
You and Kyle Butts are the only 2 people who have single-digit fab left. He's got 9 and you got 7.
That was because I blew it all on Alfred Morris. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm still not mad. I haven't needed it yet. I haven't needed those points.
Yeah, I mean, at least you're a long shot for the playoffs. If Kyle Butts gets the playoffs, he's got $9 for the rest of the season in case he needs to pick somebody up and one of his guys gets hurt.
He's gonna pick up somebody next. That's what's crazy is he hasn't slowed down his waiver pickups yet. Even though excluding me, he's just way below everybody else in points. But he just hasn't slowed down.
Yeah, the thing is, I guess I would get it if week to week there's those guys that you'll see. This week it was Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington that people were spending money on, and maybe you put $3 to $7 on one of those guys, but he's putting $3 to $7 on guys that nobody else is gonna pick up. You can just
guys I've never heard of.
Yeah, you can just bid $1, homie.
Fantasy football. I've never heard of Deontay Thompson. But
yeah, do you want to go over what teams we like for the rest of the season based on what their teams are looking like?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's see. Let me look. I know Nick's one of my favorites, so if you have any off the top of your head, you can go into that.
Yeah, I was going to say I like Nick's team a lot. A lot of his key guys are past their byes. He got that out of the way early. I like Rob's team rest of the season as well. Having Le'Veon Bell is huge for him, and then you didn't.
Yeah, what's the full starting roster look like if everybody was in?
Right now, it looks like it would be Stafford at quarterback, Bell and Kamara at running back, Mike Evans, Des Bryant, and either Sammy Watkins or Jamison Crowder for his wide receivers. Tight end would be Jared Cook or Hunter Henry, and then
even this one.
Yeah, in flex he's got Ted Ginn, he's got Taylor Gabriel, he's got Jamal Charles, Jermaine Kearse, Eddie Lacy. Oh, also he's got Derek Carr on his bench too, so he could play him instead of Matthew Stafford depending on who's got the matchup. So
yeah, he's got 5 studs holding down the fort, and the rest of his team are just all volume guys that are all going to have roles the rest of the year.
Right. So. And Rob's week-to-week scoring is bigger than anyone else's. I'm looking at Rob's schedule right now: 134, 116, 130, 116, 121, 127, 149.
And then
never been below 116.
Let's also not forget Rob won the week 1
That's right.
point total bonus, so he already has $100 locked up, and he looks to be the favorite right now to make a pretty big sweep. And if he can get first, he gets that bonus. If he can get regular season bonus, he's already looking at $1,000 in cash right there. So
yeah,
it would suck if he three-peats, but up to him if he can pull away $1,000 from this league.
It seems like Rob every year has got one of those strong teams. I don't know if it's the research that he does or if he just knows the football in and out, but you got to give it to him.
I'll run through Nick's team real quick. I like Nick's team a lot rest of the season for actually a lot of the same reasons that we just mentioned with Rob's. Is he's got a lot of studs, and then the rest of his team. I'd say Rob has a couple more studs, but like the rest of his team, just guys with solid roles that are just constantly going to be putting up numbers each week. So obviously he's starting Drew Brees, and the Saints are actually looking like a Super Bowl contender this year, which is
right.
I didn't think that would happen anytime soon.
Well, Nick did.
Right. So he's got Brees gunning, and then he's got Freeman and Kareem Hunt, who just week to week can put up the best numbers if they're not putting up the best numbers. Brandon Cooks is the third leading receiver in yards right now. Kelvin Benjamin is back to his old self, which is absurd. Although the Panthers look pretty underrated, Cam Newton has been struggling, but they're going like this week. Got the matchup, he's going up against Tampa Bay. It's easy when you're in that division, Kenny Stills, I know right now he's playing against the Ravens. He has one catch for 20 yards, but he actually locked up a roll now that Parker's down, and he's been putting up numbers. So like you said, and then he's got Mark Ingram, who's one of the top PPR backs right now. It's working out for Latavius Murray. He's got LeGarrette Blount, who are under roll. He's got Josh Doxson, who are under roll.
LeGarrette Blount's under
roll.
Chris
Ivory, who's earning a roll.
Delanie Walker's been great.
That's what I'm saying, and things are just working out for him.
Chris Ivory has a roll.
He's 5-2. What is Rob? 4-3.
Yep.
Yeah, they look to be the dark horses. Let's not forget Mikey is still up top, but we'll see if he can maintain any edge.
I just want to point this out real quick. Nick was really unlucky last season. I think first 3 picks it was Gronk, Doug Martin, Sammy Watkins. All of them got hurt for the year, so Nick was really unlucky last year. He's got a lot of lucky breaks this year. Kareem Hunt made an impact immediately with Spencer Ware going down. And then Kenny Stills has been great, like you said, with Devontae Parker being out. Adrian Peterson getting traded from the Saints was huge for Mark Ingram. Dalvin Cook going down helped Latavius Murray a lot. John Brown's finally not injured every single game. Josh Doxson's getting more snaps. Now Terrell Pryor's been underwhelming. Darren Sproles fucking died. So LeGarrette Blount now is
relevant. He broke his arm and towards ACL on the same play. That's so gross to think about.
And then Chris Ivory has a role when Leonard Fournette's hurt, which might be a nagging injury. We'll find out. But yeah, if you want to talk about Mikey's team,
Well, I'll do that. I also like Butts. Butts is a sneaky dark horse, as much as it hurts to say. It's not because his team is so awesome. It's because they have sneaky good upside. Butts is sitting at 4-2-1 with Brady holding down the fort. Jay Ajayi, who's getting as much volume as anybody. Matt Forte is somehow keeping a roll. Keenan Allen, who we just got off of monster volume. He's got the 2 best tight ends in fantasy football if you throw out Travis Kelce. He's got Gronk and Zach Ertz. He's flexing one. Juju Smith-Schuster stole that role, so he's got Juju. He's got Devontae Parker. He's got Rashard Matthews. So.
I love Marlon Mack, too, a lot.
Yeah, and Marlon Mack, yeah. So, like, his team's hitting form. If his studs can put up the numbers that they should, then you definitely don't want to face Butts.
Yeah, I mean, if I were him, I would have held on to Melvin Gordon. I think Melvin Gordon's like the number 4 or 5 overall player in all of fantasy football. And he gets stupid volume in the running game and the passing game. As a Chargers fan, Anthony Lynn just wants to overuse the shit out of him. And it's been working for them the past couple games. They've won the past 3 games with that kind of a game plan. So I don't see his volume slowing down at all.
Definitely has the depth to where he didn't have to ship him off for more depth.
Right.
Come playoff time, you want as much upside as you can. So
yeah, exactly. But
whatever, it's all on him.
I agree. His team's been pretty high scoring. If I take a look at his schedule here, I mean, he's had a dud week here and there, but other than the 152, 149, 135, like his team on any given week can smash. So with that kind of upside, you got to consider him, especially sitting at 3rd place right now with 4 wins.
Right, which is absurd. 4 wins is 3rd place. But I don't have much else to hit on. I guess we can talk about Mikey's team super quick. And then Mikey is tied for first with Nick. And Mikey's team has been held down by a core of 4 guys. LaShawn McCoy, Todd Gurley, DeAndre Hopkins, and Travis Kelce.
Yep.
And the rest of his team is just they're scoring on the right weeks. Marvin Jones is scoring on the right weeks.
Robert Woods.
I'm sure Sarkandrick West has had a couple double-digit weeks this year. Jeremy Maclin, he has Jerry Maclin starting right now, who has a touchdown in the game against Miami right now. So he's got 4 guys holding him down. And
Danny Amendola has been pretty good on certain weeks.
Yeah, so if his guys hit on the right weeks, Mikey's definitely always a threat when LaShawn McCoy and Ty Gurley are holding up the force.
I mean, that's what happened in my matchup against Mikey last week. He had a bunch of guys hurt, some guys on bye. I thought, if I'm going to catch Mikey on any week, it's this week. And then Todd Gurley and LaShawn McCoy both had like 25 and 27-point games. So, I mean, those are the kind of guys you want on your team, the guys that can make a big difference. And he took the chance on Todd Gurley in the second round, and it definitely paid off for him.
Yeah.
And if we're going to talk about one more team, I actually like Brobe's team a lot right now. If Zeke doesn't get suspended, that trade with Rob was huge for him. If Leonard Fournette's injury is not nagging, that's also great for him. Larry Fitzgerald has been fantastic. Stephon Diggs has been fantastic when he's not hurt.
Nelson Aguilar is hitting for him.
Yep, Jarvis Landry I think he's second in the league in targets. Jarvis Landry is second in the league in targets behind Antonio Brown. So he's getting volumes. He's a great PPR guy to have.
His bench is pretty depleted. He can't afford to lose much anybody else with Zay Jones and Michael Floyd and Greg Olsen.
I don't know if Luck's going to come back. Maybe the last couple games of the year, but
whether he comes back or not, Mike holding on to Andrew Luck throughout this whole year is like one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen. Like, he's just literally holding on to a prayer. I don't understand it. When Andrew Luck comes back, then what? He thinks he's Jesus and grants him 100 points every game. I don't understand it. Andrew Luck is still a swing in the park. We have no idea what's going to happen. The offense is trash. The defense is trash. And I guess that's good for upside, but Andrew Luck is one of the most overrated players we've seen in the past 5 years in the NFL. So
you've seen it. You said it yourself the past couple of weeks. There's nothing on the waiver wire, so I don't know who you drop him for, but yeah, I mean, if he did drop him, somebody else would pick him up and stash him. So I mean, I guess if anyone's going to do it, might as well be him.
Might as well be Mike.
Yeah.
All right, and then he's sitting at 3-3-1, so he's in the middle of the pack with everybody else.
Yeah, his team started off very slowly, but lately his team's been improving. Or I don't even know if improving is the right word, just scoring more consistently. Because at the beginning he was putting up scores like 87 and 105, but since then it's been 149, 159, 109, 122, 147. So his team's a lot like Butts. Sometimes it'll disappear, but when they hit, they score a lot of points.
Yeah, for sure. It's somebody that you know. Like, I'm actually entering a bloodbath with Mike this week. I think we're going to have a good matchup. I'm disappointed that I don't have 2 wins. I have 1 win. I was hoping that I could leverage a big win off of Mike to win out and make the playoffs. I don't think I'm going to be able to now at 1-6, but who knows with the clusterfuck that we have. If I don't make the playoffs at 1-6, Michael, I hope you do after starting off hot. You're sitting there at 4-3. You're still one of the top guys. If you can just maintain your momentum, take away 2 or 3 wins, you for sure make the playoffs.
I think the issue is, like, my team at the beginning, like when we first started out, looked so good with Ty Montgomery and DeMarco Murray, and then Ty Montgomery gets hurt, and that's ruined.
By week two, Ty Montgomery was arguably like the number 1 player in fantasy. You're like, I need that guy. I need Ty Montgomery. He's going to be getting he was getting 98% of snaps and touching the ball like at a 40% market share. It was absurd.
So not only did he get hurt, and then Aaron Jones came and performed really well, which by the way, at the beginning of the year, I liked Aaron Jones more than Jamal Williams. So I mean, good for Aaron Jones.
You did talk about that.
And then Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, ruins Randall Cobb.
Ruins the whole team's value.
Carson Palmer gets hurt, ruins J.J. Nelson. DeMarco Murray's had nagging injuries all year, and even then, even when he is playing, he's not doing that well. So, like, my team is just, like, Willie Snead gets suspended and then is hurt. So, it's just been unfortunate. I mean, the bright spots in my team have been Chris Hogan, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, who have been very consistent scorers. But, yeah, if those guys don't show up, then my team kind of tanks. But I like my outlook for this week. A.J. Green is pretty much the best matchup imaginable. Still working on finding my second running back spot, but I'll have it figured out before Sunday.
For sure. I don't got anything else. We didn't talk much strategy today. We're trying to bust this one out real quick. Heading into the second half of the season should be interesting. Do you have any second half calls?
I don't really have any calls. I think that if anyone's team that was performing really well at the beginning of the season is going to start to decline a little bit, I think it's going to be Damian. Manny Sanders is hurt right now, and losing Odell Beckham was huge. And I don't know. Damian's running backs that he picked up in the draft aren't really panning out for him. Isaiah Crowell has been terrible. Aaron Jones was a great pickup by him. At first, I didn't think he was going to be worth the $25 that he spent on him in Fab, but ended up working out. Dak Prescott's been good.
Video in one of the videos for it.
I mean, C.J. Anderson, he was good at the beginning, but that Denver offense looked so incompetent. They couldn't even score against the Chargers. So
yeah, that's bad. So you're going with Damian declining, and I'm going to stick with my call I've been saying all year. I have Nick on the up and up, and I think Nick's going to coast to at least the top 2 regular season finish.
Fair enough.
And if Rob's not in form, I think Nick takes away the whole thing. I hope he does. He definitely deserves it. He'll earn it, and I know he'll enjoy it too.
I think I have another call, and this one might be unpopular. I think Derek's going to make the playoffs.
Oh shit!
Dude, think about it. Kirk Cousins is a second half of the season quarterback. Tevin Coleman's getting his volume. Chris Thompson's been unbelievable. His Antonio Brown and Julio Jones. I don't hate Derek's team.
He's got Jimmy Graham.
I think Derek so far this season's been really unlucky. I'm going to look at the scores that he puts up week in and week out. He started off slow, but
I looked at it and it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, his losses, he scored 78, 91, and 92. But on his wins, he scored 137, 130, 122, and then he had an unfortunate loss at 136. So Derek's team is a high-scoring team. That's why he's not eliminated from the Survivor Challenge yet. So
that's true.
Derek's 3-4. I think Derek has a real chance to make the playoffs.
You heard it here first. The worst fantasy player of all time, Derek Walker, might make the playoffs. Nick Rudder's going to take first. And Rob David's Becky still sucks. Anything else, Michael?
No, I think that's it. I don't have anything else. Let's go watch some football.
For sure. Peace out, bro.
All right, see you later, mate.